general is probably it could be better. So to go to somewhere like the Bernabeu and play that way, and obviously come back from a goal down as well, it just shows so much great character. And like what Brownie said, I think that experience kind of shone through a little bit towards the end. And Real Madrid are always going to push for a goal. They've got so many forward-thinking players, and we have too. And there was times when we probably went forward a little bit too much because we were wanting that extra goal, and rightly so. But I think to get 3 points away in the Champions League, it puts us in a great position in the table.
It does. In fact, let me just double check now, because there's obviously lots of other games taking place tonight. They're all sort of finishing up as we speak. Right now, City sitting 4th in the Champions League table on 13 points, alongside Paris Saint-Germain in 3rd on 13. Atalanta, go on Atalanta on 13 points as well. They're in 5th. So that is a great position to be with 2 games left. PSG dropped points tonight as well at Bilbao. That ended 0-0. So that was a good score for us as well. Obviously wanting to finish in that top 8 to avoid that nasty playoff that we went out in last year as well. So 2 Champions League games left, but City up to 4th in the table, obviously, which is incredible for this time of year as well. So talking about that second half then, Brownie, it was end-to-end at times. When you joked about, no goal, it's because it was end-to-end. It was frantic and it was exhilarating at the start, certainly at the start of that second half. What did you make of it?
I said end-to-end, and somebody in the studio sort of says, well, yeah, but it's exciting, isn't it? And I was like, Pep Guardiola will not want excitement, he will want control, because he knows, we've seen so many times, haven't we, late goals for what Real Madrid can do, put you under pressure, almost suck the ball in, Champions League experience as well, big players just seem to step forward, they had some big moments, but so did we, we got into good areas, created opportunities, some good play, some composed moments I felt, I think just a little bit more of the right choices, we should have possibly got another goal. That would have calmed it for obvious reasons. But I just felt that it was a time where we needed to grind out as a full unit, as a squad, and that's what they did today. And you've seen the manager just driving them through right the way to the end, and he knew that that's an important one after the last game of the Champions League. And now it looks a whole lot better, doesn't it? When you look at that league table, you talk about fourth position, and you say you want to finish as high as you can. I think that's what we didn't learn from last season. We felt we could recover, and we just didn't with that draw, and that's what happened.
Talking about kind of grinding that team effort there, Steph, you must have been super proud of the defence towards the end there, because that was bodies on the line there for the last 5-10 minutes. Balls were coming off everybody's limbs.
The midfield really protected them, didn't they?
Them centre midfielders didn't they? Just protecting the back.
I mean, even the defenders need extra help. They have to get 3 of them. Get 3 of them.
When you're the worst player, you get put in the bag, innit? No, you know what? To be honest, it was the whole team, and even when he made the changes, he brought Mamouche on, Savinho, Reinders. I think Mamouche did amazing to get us up the pitch in times. He did really well. But Guardiola, especially them last 2 headed clearances in terms of height and distance, it just allowed people to get back in, and they're the moments that count, especially when you put under so much pressure. And Donnarumma as well, even though he probably didn't make the big saves, he was there and he was organising and communicating, and I think it's nice to see that togetherness, and you can just see how much it meant to get the 3 points, especially at the end with all the celebrations.
Oh, I loved the celebrations at the end. Talking about the substitutions, I think that's a really interesting. You can see them there. 2,500 Blues travelled. That is right. I have been sat up there before. That is right at the top of the Bernabeu as well. Look at that, and you could hear them. They made noise the whole time. Travel safely, Blues. That is a famous second win there at the Bernabeu. The substitutes, Brownie, they were interesting. When they were made, we had a good old discussion about it. So it was the 70th minute. He made a triple substitution. He took over Foden, Haaland and Cherki. 3 of the best attacking players, in the Premier League, probably in Europe right now. And he brought on Reinders, Marmouche and Savinho. When those 3 changes were made, what were you thinking?
Well, you look straight away. Savinho down the right, or down the flanks can give you an outlet, can't he? Straight away, and drive into corners, give you, say, in the middle of the pitch, Reinders. I think he can make box to box. He's covering ground. He's trying to get closer to people. Marmouche, he did his role really well. Not only did he just run in behind and run channels and be more aggressive in his style, he contributed by holding it up. And that was a key factor. Your centre-backs just dropping on top of him. He managed to get big, he managed to stay up, hold it, bring people in. So overall, we've seen a more of a defensive display from City earlier. Maybe the new coaching staff, the format, they've sort of gone, right, we are not as good as we were defensively, so we have to do it as a unit. We have to grind results out late on. And that's what he's done. They're learning at times while they improve, while we get used to new players, etc. And that's what that's exactly now, is to say, right, we are now going to be hard to beat for the remainder of the game. And again, you look at as well, the weekends, the games, who's going to run out of steam, where we need the legs, you've got to use the squad wisely. And I felt like it worked really well, didn't it, by doing that? I mean, they'll be disappointed, everyone will be saying at one point, if you hadn't have won it, well, why'd you take Haaland off? We need another goal, or what? But, the manager knows best, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, and I mean, the game was getting so transitional, and for them three players especially, they're doing a lot of running, and I thought it was a smart move and really good timing, to be honest, because I think it was a time when we were probably getting a bit more under pressure, and just to bring out a little bit of an outlet and someone that can run with the ball. And Reinders, we know how good he is between the boxes and just defensively knowing what he should be doing. So I think it was a really smart move, but ultimately it was about the team. And I think what you said, Brownie, we've got a squad to be able to do that, and there's going to be a lot more games especially over the Christmas period in Palace on Sunday.
Oh, absolutely. Palace on Sunday, then of course the quarter-final next week. We're in furious game after game, 4 competitions within like 7 games as well. And of course we're going to lose Marmoush soon as well to the African Cup of Nations, or indeed probably at the start of next week as well. So I thought for the 20-minute cameo that he got there at the end, Brownie, I thought he was particularly impressive. He was able to hold the ball up, slow the game down, hold on to it for a bit, let us breathe.
Well, he'll be frustrated because he's missed a long period. Then he's come back. You're not getting the minutes. You're not getting the chances to get better. We talked, didn't we, about Nico, how he's developed and got sort of more comfortable in stride. He said, God, isn't he doing well? Isn't he getting better? You need minutes. And when the manager made changes in the last Champions League game, was it 10 changes? It was, when it didn't work out, what he's trying to do is get as much minutes as he can when he can. Although that one didn't work out, he thought, well, maybe should have not changed everyone. He knew that was the first question that was going to come his way. But what he said is, I need to get him in because of this run now, if we're going to go through. So you have to do it at some point. And now for him to come on, I felt like he'd done really well. I felt like he was a good outlet. I think the game suited him. And he's got to do that wherever he can to get minutes. And then at the weekend, does he say, right, everyone's tired, here's a slot for you, I can get you on the right-hand side or somewhere. Does early not start? That's the difference going into next week as well, into Brentford.
Yeah, something else I think I was really impressed with. Obviously, we went 1 goal down. They took the lead in the Bernabeu. We were able to show a level of resilience and a level of bottle, Steph, to come back and then to hold on, And I think Ali said it in the commentary about, Real Madrid scoring in the last few minutes. We've both been in the stadium where we've seen that happen. So that level of resilience from City, I'm really happy that we saw that.
Yeah, because when you do go 1-0 down, it's just so important that you kind of steady the ship and don't really concede again, because then you're really trying to pull it back. And I think it gave us time to get used to being there again and experiencing the crowd and trying to put them under a bit of pressure. But I think, to be honest, I think we try to play as simple as we possibly could in the right areas. And Real Madrid were trying to allow us to play through the middle, but I think we used the wingers quite well in terms of Shirky and Doku and Bernardo. He pops up everywhere, he overloads different spaces, and when you've got Haaland in the middle, he occupies the 2 centre-halves. So I thought we did really well to come back. We didn't crumble, and we actually started to play even better when we went at 1-0 down. So hopefully that doesn't become a thing over the next few games. But, I think the reaction is exactly what every City fan will want, is that you accept that you haven't probably played at the best in the 20 minutes and you're going to get punished by a team like Real Madrid. But we came back and got the 2 goals in quick succession. I tell you
what it will do as well is players necessarily in that 11 or in that squad haven't been in that sort of game environment yet, in a more of a pressure win against a top team. And I feel like that they'll grow. You need a couple of those moments, and I think that's important for 3 or 4 of them. For the next step. So I think overall we've got to be delighted. We knew it was going to be a tight game, but some people knew it was going to be 2-1. It's a nice lucky kit, isn't it, as well?
It's a nice lucky kit, yes indeed. Are you going to be trying to steal this one?
I'm waiting to get it passed over. But I just want to see, I want to test it out, because she said if we win I could have it. So
You've tried it on already, so you don't have to test it out.
I'm just going to check on the,
I think you said if we win you could have it.
But no, it's been...
Barry, when he said you can scan it, you don't have to scan it through the TV,
No, I'm going to scan that one when I take it home in my car now. So look, I'm really looking forward to it. Lovely kit, isn't it? Keep advertising, let's get one. It's perfect.
That is, of course, our EA Sports kit that we wore tonight. It has a chip inside the badge that you can scan on your phone, and then it takes you to a page where you can win Manchester City prizes. So, yeah, Brownie's got his eye on some of those prizes.
Yeah, I can see it, yeah.
Clearly.
I'm not allowed a couple of the other shirts, but
Yeah.
I'm allowed that.
Oh, and by the way, if you've been wondering what this beautiful picture is that we've had on set today as well, that is Erling Haaland's 100 Premier League goals. It is a drawing that's been done of every single one of his goals as well tonight.
He's nicked that as well.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You get looked after in the studio.